welcome to Global Derivatives 2011. I'm here with Tom Hyer, head of model analytics at UBS, quantitative analytics at UBS. And I have a few questions to Tom about what we've just been through in the last couple of years. What do you think were the biggest missing links and biggest glaring holes in the quantitative modeling and analytics that the crisis has revealed?
The picture of the universal bank was designed as a common source of financial resources, and then entrepreneurial investment bankers would use those resources to make money. The problem was that the universal bank in this picture was a large and poorly defended organism itself, and offered its resources to the investment bankers without putting a price on them that reflected the market reality. So it de facto became easier to make money from the host than to make money from the market.
I see.
And people would not have at the time described what they were doing this way. I don't want to make it sound like fraud. It wasn't fraud, it was opportunism. We had a case where UBS was funding below LIBOR at the time, and couldn't see why, Group Treasury couldn't see why they should lock in funding at LIBOR, because they could fund below LIBOR, and they assumed that this state of affairs would persist. So they assumed that the ability of the group to supply resources to the unit was unlimited. And they didn't realize that what looked like profit was actually just consumption of pre-existing group resources.
I see. But that presumably is pretty difficult to take into account quantitatively in the models. How do you go about building such insights into
at the topmost level? You know what resources you're providing and how much of each resource you're going to provide. Risk-weighted assets, balance sheet, firm equity, and so forth can all be counted and enumerated, and each business can be charged for using them. There are two. So this attempt to advance to make scientific the internal operations of a large firm is actually the most important thing quants can do right now.
I see.
There are a couple of ragged edges to it where the model where the real world is not amenable to modeling. One is the soft edge, like reputational risk. If I'm allowed to market an index branded as UBS, then I am taking risks with UBS reputation.
Yes.
And there's no easy way to quantify that. And the other is the non-commutativity. If one person puts on a trade that adds risk, and then a different desk puts on a trade that cancels out that risk, who do you charge?
That probably is not only a quantitative but also a political issue in some cases.
And the banks that succeed in the new business will be the banks that are strong enough internally to resist the centrifugal pull of politics. In a dispensation, what Neil Hyer used to call the cafeteria model of the universal bank, where everybody comes to the front of the line and grabs as much mashed potatoes as they can. A bank that cannot stop running that way because somebody internally likes it is a bank that cannot prosper.
Well, that's going to be a challenge. What do you think where do you think will be the most unexpected, I want to call it blow-up, not blow-up, but like a big glaring hole that will become apparent? In which area should we worry about?
It's got to be around government debt. I saw something yesterday that angered me, which was a book, Lessons from the Financial Crisis, which in the subtitle called it the defining financial event of our lifetime.
Okay.
First, what are the odds that the defining financial event of our lifetime is safely in the past?
Very few.
Second thing is that this financial crisis, what we call the financial crisis, is one episode of a rolling bubble, and the bubble is not gone away. It has moved on from houses to governments.
Agreed. Governments have taken on most of the unrealized losses.
Correct. And they cannot bear them. Governments have made promises they cannot keep in one form and another. They can keep any one of them. They could, for example, pay off the unrealized losses eventually. But between that, the pension promises, the medical care promises that a lot of developed world countries make to their citizens, something has to break. And because everyone is protecting their corner, whatever breaks won't be pretty. So whether it will happen soon enough to be the next crisis, I can't tell you.
Yeah. Do you think that quants will handle it, or not likely? I mean, model-wise.
I suppose I would say that what quants can do in this case is quants can try to make models that encourage the husbanding of resources so that our employers do not become over-leveraged and helpless in the face of sudden change.
Okay, that's a lot to do.
Yes.
There you have it. Tom Hyer, UBS,
All right.
Global Derivatives 2011.
Right, thank you.